Heavenly Father, up above. If you don't get this shit right, I'm gonna fucking kick your ass.
Go to hell where you belong, you son of a bitch!
Let's go! Go! I can't wash the dishes right now!
Do you want some money? Luckily, I got a game for you that's way too messy.
You look oily as fuck, bitch, take a shower!
But don't get too chummy, cause you ain't the only contendee who loves money. The winner of I Love Money will walk away with some illustrious prizes such as a coveted spot in the DH1 Hall of Fame and a cash prize of up to $100,000. Results may vary. So what are we waiting for? Let's bounce some checks.
Hello everyone and welcome. We're here with the 7th member of the jury and also with co-host Isaiah.
Hey, co-host of the Masters, you know what's going on. Yeah, we're here with Johnny, freshly just eliminated a couple minutes ago, cracking open the beer, you know what I'm saying? Johnny, how you feeling, man? How you feeling?
Feeling okay. First of all, I had a very, 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 very good time. Better time than I could have ever expected. Me being booted out was not a surprise. I've been saying for a while now in my confessional that if I didn't win out, I was going to be voted out. So I knew it was happening. As soon as I dropped my 2-liter, I was like, that's my game. So I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, so tonight's competition was holding the 2-liter above your head. How were you feeling going into the competition? Did you feel like you could win it?
Actually, no. I've done that. Never with a 2-liter, but I've done comps where you have to put your arms over your head. And I always say that the heavier the arm, you have a bigger disadvantage. And if you watch Survivor, you'll see it. And it's in real life, it happens as well. So I wasn't as confident as one would think.
So Johnny, obviously, this is as Dylan said on your closing and everything, people have classified you as like a very quiet person.
Yeah.
This should be a very fun interview to actually hear, speak your mind and everything. But we can just do a little deep dive. And so we can start off with the easy stuff, tonight. Obviously, You're here. That vault ceremony was very chaotic. It doesn't seem like a lot of people could really make a decision. What was going on there?
The vote conversation was pretty much people deciding who they wanted to go, whether it was going to be Shelby or myself. That's really what it was. At first it was Shelby, and then at the end, when Shelby realized if I was not going, if I was not going to be one of the 3 at the bottom, that she was 100% going home. So that's what happened. She knew what Cheyenne wanted, and that's what happened. Yeah, that's what happened. Yeah, I guess that's the chaos you're describing.
We saw basically you and Shelby. I think Kyra was kind of more on the back burner, but you and Shelby both kind of fighting over Julius, and Julius kind of showed his cards and said, hey, I'm just not voting Johnny. How did that make you feel? What's going on there? Can you tell us a little bit more about it?
I can give you my opinion of it. I'll first start off by saying I knew if I didn't win that I was going home. So I appreciated Julius putting up a fight. I knew that in the end, he knew what the end goal was going to be, that I was going home. So I do appreciate him putting up a fight, but in the end, he decided not to fight completely, and I do not hold that against him. He has a game to play going forward. I don't hold it against Kyra either for voting me. I don't hold it against Shelby for voting me because they all wanted to stay. I have no hard feelings, and I just spoke my truth, and I'm content.
So last night, Lucy had her exit interview and she brought up a couple of alleged groups that she was a part of, and one of those groups allegedly was called Johnny's Y.
Yeah, yes.
What's the tea with that?
So first of all, going into this game, I didn't know anyone. I didn't know not one person, and I appreciated that. So I really was going to say, well, what I did say was, the first person that I spoke with that reached out to me, I was going to be loyal to them. And whatever group finally decided to add me to a chat, I was going to be loyal to them. And lo and behold, a chat popped up with the title of Johnny and His Two Wives. I was like, oh, okay. So these are my people. And so, yeah, I mean, like I said, that was the first chat that I was added to. Those two women, I think, are very lovely people inside and out. Obviously, when people said I wasn't speaking to people, I was speaking to them every day. So I got to see a different side of them than others did. So from my perspective, two lovely ladies. I have nothing negative to say, and I'm proud. I'm proud to have two wives. Proud of it.
Yeah, so I kind of want to go back to when Jarvis was eliminated.
Yeah.
It factored in today, and as Cheyenne's reason to sending you home.
Yep.
Do you think that was the move that kind of switched your trajectory?
I'm glad you asked that question right after the two wives. So when Jess R was eliminated, my very next confession was, my end goal is to get revenge for Jess R, and then after that, I could care less what happens to me. And once Shelby was eliminated, I didn't care about the rest of the game. And then Lucy was had a lot of conversations with Jarvis, and everyone was like, "Oh, Jarvis is so nice. Jarvis is so nice. He's so trustworthy." But I'm like, "Yeah, but he's saying that to everyone. He's saying that to everyone." So we had a goal to get Jarvis out. That was our goal between Lucy and myself. We were going to get Jarvis out. And she really didn't believe that he was talking to everyone and would spread gossip. So what happened was that one magical day when Jarvis said, "Hey, Johnny, who's one person you will not say their name?" And I was like, "Shelby." That was the biggest lie that I told her the game, that I was not going after Shelby. And so when he went live and said, "Oh, Johnny said the only person that he would not vote out is Shelby," I felt great. So I was like, "See, this is the guy who spreads all the gossip." So it gets even better. It gets even better. Going into, I'm going back. So the round when Jarvis left, he was already the target for that night. He volunteered to go down, which made it even greater. And what I could not say to Julius and Cheyenne was, "Hey, I targeted Jarvis for like the past 48 hours. I got my goal." That's what I couldn't say, because then, that's just shoot myself in the foot. So I made up that little story about, I wanted to work with you two, and this was my plan. So that was not the reason to get closer to them. I wanted to get Jarvis out.
Wait, which two people?
I told Cheyenne and I told Julius that my reason for going after Jarvis was because I wanted to work more closely with those two people. Oh. But that was not the case. He just had to go. And like I said, the round before, once I got my revenge on Shelby, I didn't really care about the game. I was content. So I was going down swinging. I didn't care. I was
so, I mean, more on Shelby then, because obviously, she came back.
Yes,
that was probably a big surprise for you, right? Was there any chance of like you and Shelby possibly like working together before tonight? Obviously, like, was there any kind of like adjustment point that you're like, "Oh, maybe I could work with Shelby" or something like that?
I appreciate honest people. And Shelby directly said to me, I'm not quoting her, but she directly said to me, "You're my target." And I was like, okay. And then like throughout the day, she was like, "You want to try to convince me otherwise?" And I was like, "No, I don't. You've already told me I'm your target. So like, what do you want me to say?" And like every like 10 or 20 minutes, she would come back to me like I guess wanted me to like pitch something. And I'm like, no, I'm not. At some point, I was like, I'm not a salesperson. I was like, this choice is all yours. You know, you either want me in a game or you don't. And that's pretty much how it went. But I do appreciate her honesty. At one point, I think she was like, you know, why aren't you telling me anything? And I was like, look, I think you're an extremely intelligent woman. And anything that I could tell you, you've already thought about. So why waste my time? So that's how I went with Shelby. Yeah. So I appreciate her honesty. She may even get my vote because of her honesty.
So I think you kind of briefly touched on Shelby's game. Can we kind of go through the other final players in the game? Maybe we can go to Kyra next. What do you think of her gameplay?
All right. So obviously I'm giving my opinion. You know what? I'm gonna, you know, give a diluted version for everyone because I don't want to say anything negative. I believe I said a lot of positive things for Shelby going forward. I don't think I said anything bad about her. For Kyra, playing an extremely social game. That's proven by the 2 popularity comps that we've had, the circle, and then I don't know, we'll call it the battleback comp from yesterday. I don't know what the official name is. But through both of those, she's always been the last person standing. So she's obviously doing something well. I think that, you know, she stays engaging with the costumes. She stays engaging with the speeches that have some type of sexual undertone in them every day, every episode. So she knows what she's doing. She knows what she's doing. And I have nothing bad to say about her. You know, she voted me today, and like I said, I get it. Nothing bad.
Sorry, Isaiah.
No, go ahead.
Yeah. So, but also I kind of want to, you said the targets today were either between you or Shelby, but then Debbie was in the box too. So kind of like relating to that, I mean, why wasn't Debbie voted out? I believe also Joseph Boza did ask this as well.
Okay. Yeah, I can't see the comments, but why wasn't Debbie voted out over me?
Yeah, and like, how does that relate to maybe her gameplay?
I'll answer the first part. I believe I was voted out before Debbie because I stand the better chance of beating Cheyenne in a comp, beating Cheyenne in a comp. So that's why she would vote me out before Debbie. As far as Debbie's game, from my personal opinion, she's a hustler. When she feels she's in danger, she goes into Debbie mode. And I believe that even better than Shelby, when it comes to crunch time, Debbie will just keep going. And sometimes the only time she will stop going is if her Wi-Fi connection cuts her off. So she's passionate in that sense. I think that this game will be a good learning experience for her. I think she'll learn a lot from it. But yeah, she's a hustler. I'll give her that.
Should we keep going for the rest of the cast? Yeah, okay. So how about the person that voted you out tonight, Cheyenne?
I believe Cheyenne knows what she has to do in order to win the game. If she did not vote me out today, I believe there are some jurors who would have raised their eyebrow because people now like Shelby again. They like her again. And there are jurors who do not like me. So, for instance, if there was a Jarvis who may be going back and forth on whether or not he's going to give his vote to Julius or give his vote to Cheyenne, Cheyenne can say, Jarvis, I got your revenge for you. She can say the same to Cody. So she's very calculated. She's playing a very smart game, Cheyenne. Very smart game. Smart player.
I believe lastly we have Julius.
Julius. I think Julius is too nice for these games. So I'll start off by saying that he's a very passionate person. He wants to win. So I'm not trying to say that he doesn't have a good strategy. But I do believe that, his kindness may be what makes him not win. His kindness. But he's one, not to say that there's anyone in the cast that I will try not to reach out to once everything's said and done, but he's definitely someone that, 5 seconds after the finale, I'm going to say, yo, what's up? So peace to that, man.
Nice. So I wanted to ask about your strategy a little bit because, as I said at the beginning, everyone is like, Johnny's so quiet, like we don't know what he's gonna do. But you made it to final. Was it 6 now? Yeah, you made it to final 6. What was your strategy and like why was it successful? Do you think?
Well, I wasn't successful because I didn't win.
Successful is.
So like, all right. I laughed a lot of times when people would get eliminated and you would ask them, "Oh, would you come back for All Stars?" Like I came in 6th place. Why would I be an All Star? So I don't think it was successful. I didn't win. But my strategy, and you know what? All right, Dylan hinted. He didn't hint at this. He actually stated it. He was like, "Yeah, I saw you open up. By nature, I'm an extremely quiet person. So my game started off how I am in life. Like it takes me a while to get comfortable in my surroundings. So at first, I was very quiet. I was fortunate to find. I looked for people. Like I said, I didn't know anyone, so I looked for people that I could trust. Julius was the first person. I was like, oh, he reached out. This is gonna be my boy. And then 24 hours later, he leaves my limo and goes to another place. I'm like, shit. I got my heart broken that quickly. So working with the people that I was working with, they accepted my silence and my quietness, and they worked with me until I was willing to open up. Even tonight, I think Shelby was like, "Oh, Johnny wants to talk." Damn, Isaiah, am I putting you to sleep, man?
No.
Okay.
It's 12:53. You good, bro?
Yeah, I hear you. I'm joking. No, it just takes me a while to warm up. I wish I was a chatty person. It's just not in my gene pool. It just takes me a while. And for people who have the gift of gab, people who are socialites, extroverts, they can't relate to me. So, I just played it the way I could. I warmed up, and then once I felt comfortable, that's when I started speaking more. And that's it. Yeah.
Do you think you being quiet in a cast of fairly loud personalities, do you think that helped or hindered you to get as far as you went?
Oh, it definitely hindered me. In most social games like this, people group and bond with people they're similar to. And because the majority of this cast like to talk, like to be heard, like to be in the spotlight, there wasn't that immediate quick bond for me. So it definitely is a hindrance. But I knew that coming into the game, especially in a game where everything is recorded, everything's live. Even today, someone was talking about how they were on some other different type of reality show at some point in time. Like, so there's people who are comfortable under the camera and like it, and I'm not that person, but I had a blast.
So there was, I think it happened like at least one time when someone was getting sent home. They were like, "I'm gonna make sure to poison the jury, make sure you don't win, Johnny."
Yeah.
Did that like kind of like switch a gear to like, do I gotta play different? Like, do I have to be a little bit different than what I'm doing now? Or you were like, whatever, I'm just gonna keep it moving.
Yeah. Like I am who I am. I know that my quietness is always gonna be something that works against me. I'm used to it. I'm used to it. So that was Shelby who said that, and I've heard it before, and I've won. So when she said it, I was, it was like, all right, that's the exit speech. That's the exit speech. Some people leave bitterly, and that was a bitter exit. And I've heard it before, and I'll hear it again. So I'm not fazed by that.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of the jury and Shelby tonight, one of the cases against Shelby, because you said it was between you and Shelby, was that jury management. The jury is going to vote for you. That's why, Cheyenne, you should get Shelby out. What are your thoughts on that? Do you agree? Do you think that Shelby's argument where that was wrong, Debbie, to say, she's been in the jury, so she knows? Like, what do you think of that?
It was Debbie was 100% correct in that. The jury would definitely vote for Shelby before voting for me. And there are specific jurors who will vote for Shelby over Cheyenne, over Julius, over Kyra. So everything that Debbie said was accurate. But I don't, but I think that's just another part of Debbie being a hustler. She should have realized that there was nothing that she was going to say that was going to sway Cheyenne. But everything that Debbie said is correct. Shelby is well liked by the jury. She has a even better story now that she could be the comeback kid. So everything Debbie said was correct. It's just there was sometimes just because you can say something doesn't mean you should. There was nothing that Cheyenne was going to listen to.
You were one of the money makers this season. A lot of people donated to. Do you know where that money's coming from, or are you in the dark about that?
No. Hopefully, they'll reach out to me and then I can say thank you. Don't tell me now.
I was just curious. Okay, so you're in the jury now.
Yep.
I wanted to know, what is your criteria for like who you're thinking about voting? Like, are you open, or are you kind of like you have like an idea of who you want to vote to win right now? Like what are you thinking?
Oh, I know exactly what my vote will be. Do you want me to say it now?
If you want to, that's up to you.
Sure. Okay. So I have a jury question that I always ask, and I plan to ask whenever the finalists. My question is, and I guess the finalists can listen now and prepare for my one little vote. My question is, I'm going to ask them to, without using pronouns like I, me, we, so basically not talking about themselves, I want them to tell me why the other two finalists should not get my vote. The reason I do that is when I go to the jury, I don't want to listen to people try to convince me how to vote. When I go to the jury, I don't necessarily want to vote for my best friend or the person I was final two with. I want to be a real juror, and that is always the same question. So in the end, let's say I vote for Kyra, everyone would probably be able to say, you know what, Kyra did answer that question better. So that's how I'm going to handle it. That's how I always do handle it.
Okay.
But don't talk about yourselves, jurors. Finalists. Don't talk about yourself. No I, we's, me's.
If you had to vote for a winner out of the cast right now, who would you vote for at this moment in time?
All right. Well, okay. All right. So we'll pretend that I wouldn't base it off my one question. Right now, I would vote for Shelby. I believe that she has a good story, being that I don't want to say all that. I don't want to say all that. Like I said, I don't want to say anything that could potentially negatively affect her game. Like I said, I respect everyone, but right now it would be Shelby. I'd vote for her.
To kind of tie off of that, who do you think has the biggest uphill battle to win?
That'd be Debbie. Yeah. That was an easy one. Next question. And I don't mean that rudely. I don't mean that rudely. Debbie.
So taking yourself out the equation and pretending you're still a player, because I like to see what the players' like mindset was. Who do you think the jury, with the people in there right now, the jury was like leaning towards? Since you haven't even been able to speak with them yet, like who do you think, Johnny the player was like, this person has a really good shot at winning, yourself included, if you want to say yourself.
Oh, I believe that Cheyenne and Shelby are the front runners. I think that's pretty obvious. Yeah, those two women, I believe, are the tops.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look at the chat a little bit.
It's funny because like we've been asking questions that they're asking, and it's like slightly altered.
Yeah. So if you're paying attention, yeah, I kind of did. But there's two of them that we didn't ask yet. So who is your favorite cast member?
Oh man. My favorite cast member was, that's me stalling. All right, this is gonna shock people. I actually liked Colin.
Colin.
Oh,
okay.
So here's why.
Guitar guy.
Here's why. And you know, I got to meet him, one of the first people, because we were in the first limousine. The reason I liked him is that his ideas and statements were definitely one of a rookie. Let me give you an example. Yeah, I can say this. Early in the game, where people were talking about votes, he said, yeah, so we're going to throw votes on Kyra and make her the pawn. So what he does, he goes to Kyra, hey, we're voting you and you're going to be a pawn. Like, who does that? So the Kyra's all pissed off. And he, you know, says she's, you know, and I'm like, who, like, you don't do that. You don't tell the pawn in advance you're the pawn unless the pawn is like suggesting it. So, you know, there's things like that. There's things that were just funny like that. I feel like he had a good heart singing. He has a fantastic voice. You know, I'm glad he's into looking at a future and what he is. But yeah, Colin's probably my favorite just because I got giggles out of him. I got giggles. He has room to grow. I hope he keeps playing these games, but he has a lot to learn.
Another question is, so what is your favorite I Love Money moment from the season?
Oh man. Oh, that's a mean one. We all say that.
Say it.
All right. Well, I don't mean it in a mean way.
You're in the gaslighter. Okay.
I don't mean it in a mean way, but it is. You asked for my favorite moment. My favorite moment was when Jarvis went home. Only because there were a select people who knew exactly what was going to happen, and then no one else did, including himself. Look, he volunteered to go in. That's how much he didn't know. He was like, I got this. I'll go and have a little seat on this chair. So there was, you know, beside myself, there were a select few who knew what was happening. And the fact that it happened that way was my favorite moment. It truly was. Yeah. And I don't mean it mean. It's just.
No, that was a big blindside. That was crazy.
Yeah, from my perspective.
Respect.
If you had one paymaster tonight, and let's say in this scenario, you got to pick the three, and who you got to send home,
right?
Who would the three be?
It would have been Shelby, just because she was 100% honest with me and said, Johnny, why would I keep your butt here? So at that, you know, the other ones, you know, you can go back and forth if they want to keep you. But if she says, hell no, she would have been the one to have gone. But again, because she was honest, she right now is a front runner for my vote if she can answer my question correctly. But she would have been the one I voted out.
Okay. Another one is, what is the funniest Zoom moment for you?
Oh, you mean like, shoot.
Got a lot of questions coming in at once right now. So.
Okay.
Woo, we love it.
I didn't put people to sleep. No, they're like, we want tea.
Yeah.
My favorite Zoom moment, shit. I wasn't on a lot of calls, surprisingly. But you know what? I had a lot of fun playing the 99 bottles of beer.
I hate that challenge.
I mean, I hated it, but it was pretty fun because you had to worry about yourself saying your line, but then you're also listening to everyone's. And if someone kind of messes up a little bit, you're like, "Oh, did V catch it?" And then V always caught it. So, that was a fun little comp. So that was probably like my best moment.
Yeah, V is vicious. V is vicious.
It was. Yeah, people would hiccup. They're like, start over.
Bro, I watched someone literally a couple seasons ago do that challenge, and they got all the way to like 7, and then she made them start over. Ugh. Yeah, she's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Aaron. I'm sorry.
No, V. I love her to death. Are there some people in the end that you didn't expect to make it there from Emma?
Well, Shelby's here, but she's here because of a battle back twist. So I can't really say so I'll take her out because she was twisted back in. Of the other finalists, no one else surprises me. I believe that I assisted Kyra by taking, although she was close with Jarvis, by me taking him out of the game, that allowed her to get closer with some other people. Like I said, I won't state the obvious. Everyone knows who the obvious is, but I'll pretend not to be messing up people's games. But I do believe I assisted her by getting rid of Jarvis. And she's in a good spot. Because if you recall, I'm not blowing up the spot because this person said it, but in Shelby's exit speech, she said, "Hey, I had this final 3 with me, Jarvis, and Kyra." So if Shelby and Kyra are still in the game, there's 2, and then you have, so Kyra's good.
Okay. Just a disclaimer, by the way, you don't have to drop tea. Some people come in here and they're ready to like spill their guts out, and other people are like, "Oh, I want a little mystery." So there's.
What are you doing?
Listen. She's the bad, the yin yang. You know what I'm saying? I'm the good one. Okay. But okay. So there's another question from Chantel. Does Johnny regret taking Giraffes out instead of Cheyenne?
I love Chantel's questions.
No. Because that's the way I play. At that point in time, I had more reasons to be loyal to Cheyenne than I did Giraffes. So I don't regret it. I don't regret, no. That's how I roll.
Okay.
You kind of like slightly going back to how you mentioned that Cheyenne got twisted back in there. I know you kept saying she's a front runner right now, but do you think that hinders her case at all that she was already eliminated and now she's back? Does that make it kind of no?
No, it doesn't hinder. Because although Dylan said this might have been the first time they've had a battle back in this series, battle backs are a part of social media games. So it's not like this was some rigged event to get Shelby back in. Battle backs happen. So no, I don't think me as a juror, I'll speak for myself. Me as a juror, I will not hold that against Shelby because she's playing the cards that were dealt to her. There was a battle back, she won it. So and you can look at it differently. How about this? I could tell you I won a lot of comps. I go I won Paymaster. I did the blah 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 blah. Shelby, if she gets again, she could say she won some Paymasters, but she also won this comp in the battle back, this comp in the battle. So this adds to her resume as well. So she should be able to twist. You get it? It was a twist. She should be able to twist it to her advantage. Actually, to say that she actually won additional comps against Cody, who was a large character in this game. So no, I won't hold it against her. She should be able to work it in her favor.
Do you have any regrets, game wise? Like anything that you wish you did a little bit differently that could maybe avoid this?
Okay, yeah. So there's one thing I could have done differently. When we had the initial decision to stay with your limo or bounce, I probably would have bounced. Because when I stayed, it was just Colin and myself. And a lot of times throughout this game, people will make comments like, oh, remember the original limo, or remember us from way back then. I was always at a disadvantage because people always had an origin that was larger than mine. So I think that if I could go back, I probably would have jumped ship, similar to what Julius did, and put myself with a bigger group from the jump. So yeah, that's the only thing I would have done differently.
So I like to ask this question because I'm a viewer. I don't get to see like all the behind the scenes stuff. And if you were to have made it, say it was a final two where you're pleading your case to the jury about how you played your best game and why you're the deserving winner, what does that speech look like? What can you inform us about your gameplay?
My gameplay got me to 6th. So that's how good it was. It wasn't good. I got to 6th. To me, that's not a placement to brag about. And if any other previous winners came in 6th or below, and you take that as a stab at you, I apologize, but I don't believe it. Me finishing at 6th is something to give a speech about.
Isaiah.
All right, so trying to think. Oh, hold on, wait.
Oops, Isaiah, how'd you do, Isaiah? Oops.
I've never came in 6th. First of all,
my bad. Oops.
I never came in 6th.
I take that back. Wait, but pause though. I don't think placing lower makes you a bad player.
It doesn't.
Because Isaiah has never won, and I think he's one of the best.
That's fair. I just don't have a victory speech.
I'm a loser. It's okay. Listen, we're not like Aaron. Like she's just like trying to, you know what I'm saying? Like she knows how it feels to win. Me and Johnny, we're struggling. Okay.
That's right. That's right.
So keep your compliments to yourself, bro.
Right. I'm at a low point right now, Aaron. Okay.
Yeah.
No. Great.
But with that though, you know, granted the opportunity, if Dylan's like, listen, I got some spots for returnees, or maybe even an all-star or something, you know, or maybe there's an all newbie cast with some returnees or anything like that. Would you come back and try to play again?
There's going to be a longer answer, but the quick answer is yes.
Cool.
I had fun. I believe that production was extremely fair, extremely organized, and what I hate is playing a game where I feel as though there's mistakes being made or there's any type of shadiness. I never, ever felt that for 1 minute. So if they were to have me back for some sophomores against rookies or something like that, or whatever they felt I was qualified to play, I definitely say yes. I like the production. Even these exit interviews, top notch. You all were entertaining every 48 hours. So yes.
Okay. I'm just let you know, the placement doesn't define who the all-star. We've had people who didn't even make jury make all-stars because they were very entertaining or had a lot of potential. So placements literally does not mean anything. Just let you know that.
Noted.
Do you have any more questions, Aaron? I see one question from from Elliot, but I wasn't going to ask that one. But
I wasn't going to ask it because you know the answer.
All right, so Elliot wants to know, in Johnny's opinion, who's the best exit interviewer?
Shit. All right. Isaiah, you gotta plug your ears, man. I'm going with Aaron.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
But let me say this though, Isaiah, you get humor though. You get humor.
All right, bet.
You get humor, and there's comments you say. I'm like, oh, he caught that. So yeah.
All right, bet. I'll take that.
I'm going with the queen on this one though.
Hey, thank you. I mean, unless there's no more chat questions. I think we got it all. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was great talking with you, Johnny.
Yeah,
you did really great.
Thanks for having me.
So don't bash yourself.
And before we end, so do you have any last second things you want to get off your chest? Anything that you didn't get to really speak on? Maybe anything that the viewers didn't get to see? It's optional. Do you have anything you want to talk about?
No. Like, well, I'll just give another thank you to production and also to this interview staff. You guys are. I'll miss watching these. I'll miss production. I will miss all the cast members that I played with. I had a good time. So thanks, Chantel. Thank you.
Well, listen, you'll be joining the jury like literally right after this, so you can talk to all of them. They're very active, all day. Especially a couple minutes ago, that was pretty crazy. So you can chat with them, and we will be seeing you next week during the finale to choose a winner, or maybe not. We'll have to see. But yeah. Aaron, do you want to close out?
That was beautiful, Isaiah. All right, Dylan, end it.
If he's not asleep.
Yeah. No.
Do I have to call this man? Oh my god, bro. Not the behind the scenes. I gotta call Dylan Andrew. See, this is why I usually log in.
Thank you, Sean.
Oh, his phone is dead, bro. The interview's over, y'all. To go.
I guess you'll.
All right.
Just leave the studio.
I'll add you to the. But I'll add you to the chat, Johnny, and everything. All right. But yeah, you guys can leave now. Dylan's probably asleep, bro. He'll figure this out later.
All right. Good night, everyone.
All right. Bye.
Bye.